Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here. I am out in the field with a farmer, a cornfield. I'm going to flip my camera around here. Okay, kind of sunny out here. My name is Brenda Mormon, and I work for North Central Iowa Ag in the Classroom. And we're doing something a little bit different today. I don't know if you guys have ever participated in a farm chat before, but we're out in the cornfield. In a minute, we're going to get in the combine with Jordan Davison. So we are about 5 miles from Rock Falls? 2 miles north of Rock Falls. And those of you in Fort Dodge, that's not going to make much sense to you, but up by Mason City. So we're about an hour and a half, an hour, 45 minutes from you guys. So we are going to get in the combine in a minute. I'm going to have Jordan stand out here and he will talk to you about the combine, how it works, and a little bit about what he's doing out here today. Once we get in the combine, you guys can type questions into the chat, or since there's only 2 classrooms joining us, I thought it might be fun if you guys wanted to chat directly with Jordan. He'll have the headset. And if you want to, the teachers want to just talk to Jordan, ask questions for your students, you're welcome to do that. And then, if any questions that are typed into chat, Jordan won't be able to hear, so or he won't see them. So I will feed them to him. He'll repeat the question and then he'll answer it for you, okay? So if at any time you have any questions, you can unmute or you can type them in the chat and we'll get going here. So I'm going to hand off my headset to Jordan and then we'll get started.
How's everybody doing today? So this is a Case IH 8250 combine. It was new this year. And we have a 12-row corn head on the front of it. And yeah, we're out here picking some corn. And I can kind of show you guys, you guys see the corn plants, and I think a lot of you probably think that whole plant goes into that machine, but that's not the case. And I'll show you what happens. So in between in these rows here, they're called stock rolls, and the corn plant goes into here and it actually gets ripped down and sized. So essentially when it gets ripped down, it's just going to chop it down, and it's going to, and when the ear hits those deck plates, it snaps it off. So the only thing going into the combine is the ears of corn itself. And then inside the combine, the machine takes the grain off of the top, it takes the husk off, shoots all that out the back, and we get clean grain in the grain tank. So anybody have any questions?
You guys can ask a question if you have a question.
You guys want to combine some corn?
Yeah. He can hear you. Just do this. No.
I heard you didn't turn anything into after going up there, and I told you said you did. But where are those 4 things you did there?
I'll get her. It's stupid. Yep. All right. Before we get started, you guys need to think of some questions to ask. And we're off.
Do you donate corn to the apple orchard?
Do they donate corn to the apple?
So if you guys, Brenda will show this down by my feet.
The machine.
I got a little pedal
We have
here.
a little pedal here.
When I hit that, there's some feelers out in front of on the corn head, and that way I don't have to touch the steering wheel. So it steers it down the row for me. So I could actually, we're not, so
I thought he was saying.
What?
and if you guys look out the window right now, you can see what the effects of way too much water this last spring had. Those corn seeds that we plant, they sat in mud, and they don't like to sit in mud, so they essentially rotted and never grew.
Unless you have to make that bigger.
Did you like zoom? Oh.
So as we're going across the field, I've got this screen up, and this screen tells me everything that the combine's doing. So right now, I have my target speed set at 5.4 miles an hour. And I hit this button, and the combine will run to 5.4 miles an hour as long as the conditions will let it. So these funnels here, we want to keep them in the green, and this will give us the yield, which is how much we're taking off per acre. And you can watch that number drop drastically because we're in a really wet part of the farm that didn't grow very well. Anybody got any questions yet? This combine will hold about 440 bushel, I think it does. So a bushel it's a measure of weight. So a bushel of corn weighs anywhere from 56 to 61 pounds. So okay, so Brenda said they say that it's the size of a laundry basket. So essentially we can put 430 to 450 laundry baskets full of grain in the tank behind us. There's water washed all this out this spring, so
talk to them a little bit about how the weight of a bushel of soybeans is different from the weight of a bushel of corn.
Soybeans are a lot denser, so they weigh more, and even though they're essentially smaller, a bushel of beans usually weighs more than a bushel of corn, even though the corn kernels are a lot bigger than the soybeans. And we're gonna get rid of some of this.
Talk to them about the auger and that you can do this if you have enough people to help.
Yeah, so it takes a lot of people to get this job done, and we're fortunate enough that we've got enough help that we can put somebody in the grain cart so the combine does not have to stop. It's a bad day when the combine has to stop. So that grain cart and tractor and the human being in it help us be a lot more efficient than not having it. So saves a lot of time, and time is money.
You want to know what you do with your corn?
All of this corn is going to Golden Grain Energy, the ethanol plant in Mason City. So that'll get made into ethanol that your parents put in their cars. And it'll also get made. There's a byproduct of distiller's grain that cattle producers will haul back to their farm and feed their cattle, and that ends up on your plate.
Tell them a little bit about your farm. Do you have any animals, any livestock to feed? Does all your corn go to the ethanol plant?
Most of my corn goes to the ethanol plant. The only livestock that I have are 3 kids. Actually, that's my house right there. Yeah, all of my grain, all of my corn goes to the ethanol plant one way or another, whether it goes to the local elevator and they ship it, or if we haul it there directly. So, but no, we're just grain farmers. We don't have any livestock. So
Tell them a little bit about you, your schooling, where you grew up.
So I grew up 4 miles straight south of where we are right now. And I actually spent some time in the same classroom that Mrs. Freeman's class is in right now. And graduated from North Springs Rock Falls. I went to a year in Nyack, and I decided that joining the workforce was better than being a student, and I'm not recommending that to all of you. So I started farming in 2008 when I was 20 or 21. And I've just kind of slowly grown my own operation while also helping out my dad and his neighbor and his son. So I do a lot of spraying in the spring and summer. And we also, my dad and his partner, they spread a lot of chicken litter. So you guys complain about the smell going up and down the roads. It's probably chicken litter, but it's really, really good fertilizer for a corn crop, and that's why we utilize it.
How many acres do you have, and how long does it take to harvest?
I mean, acre, I farm personally just short of 1,000, but how long, it all depends on the year on how long it takes. Like this year, it's been every single day we've been able to go because it's so dry and we haven't had a rain. So it all depends on where the corn's going. If it's going to the bins or back at the farm, they can get full. So we can do, yesterday we did about 150 acres. So, and the day before that we did 170. So yeah, it all just depends on the day and where it's going. But I think we started combining soybeans on September 20th. So we're on, it's been a solid month every day of harvest for us. So I'm thinking next week we'll be done by, I'm thinking a week from today we'll be done with all of the harvest.
How does the combine the kernels off the top?
So if you look at this, there's that silver thing right there. That's actually called a rotor, and it's got knuckles on it and it spins. And right now it's spinning at 320 revolutions per minute. The corn goes through there and it hits those knuckles and it falls down through those concaves onto the sieves. And then the sieves, which would be these little grates right here, drop it down, and then a blower blows it to the clean grain elevator, and the clean grain elevator takes it up to the top of the combine and dumps it in the top of the tank.
We had a question about how many more fields do you have left to harvest and when does the season end?
So when we get this field done, we've got 6 fields left, and they all range anywhere from 55 acres all the way up to 212. So, yeah, I'm thinking next Tuesday or Wednesday we'll be wrapping up. What's? Hey, Susan.
Hi, we had some technical difficulties to begin with, but we are up and running now. So I have a few people who are waiting to ask some questions.
Okay.
That's like 6 feet. That's like a lot.
How
Fire
many
away.
miles do you think you travel for in one season?
Say that again.
How many miles do you think that you travel in your combine each season?
Let me see if I can figure that out. There's actually a button in here to tell me that. Oh, somebody reset it. It's set at 15 miles right now is what it says we've done, but we've done a lot more than that. I bet it's boy, I don't know. 600-700 maybe.
Wow, that's a lot.
One of our students wants to know if the combine is easy to drive.
Yeah, it is because it's kind of driving itself right now, and it lets you monitor everything else that's going on. So, but it is a big machine. It's a big machine. It can be kind of difficult driving it down the road. And back to the question about the miles, I was completely wrong. I found it. So far, we have driven this thing 1,345 miles this year since we got it. So quite about double of what I thought. Yeah. I think everybody's pleasantly surprised. Everything's a lot better than what we originally thought it was going to be. So, and, there's definitely some spots that drowned out that we can't do anything about. So, yep. I think harvest has been good. So no major breakdowns. Oh, you guys just caught me. You guys just caught me doing something really bad.
Oh no. Oh no. What is it?
A bee, it looks like maybe, or I don't know.
I think it's overflowing. No, those are bees.
I don't know because it's flying.
This
something.
is bad.
All the corn, those are bees. These are bees? Yeah. Yes, those are bees.
I don't know.
They look like bees.
It could just be wind blowing around the chaff.
What is that?
That's not wind. That's Jordan wasn't paying attention and having fun talking to you guys. So it happens. At least it's my corn. That doesn't happen
How many?
very often. You guys don't tell anybody else you saw that, even though I think it's going to end up on YouTube.
Got the buzz
buzzer and you were talking.
Yeah.
I didn't find you that you got the buzzer.
Any other questions?
How many
I'm really-
pounds of corn do you harvest each year?
Boy, that's a tough one because like on this field that we started this morning, I've already taken off 655,000 pounds. So, and even though probably 100 of that is gonna stay in the field because we just ran it over, but yeah, that's a hard question to answer. I could do the math when we get done and get back to you. It all depends on the hybrid and what kind of corn and how it's bred. Some corn stalks can be up to 12 feet tall, and other ones, like these ones here, they're only like 4 or 5 feet tall. So, but you can tell that, you know, the water this spring really hurt them. So they'll start to get taller as we get out of the wet spot.
How many rows does your combine do at one time?
This corn head will do 12 rows at a time. There's a lot of corn on the roof of the combine right now. That's okay.
How long are your days? What time do you get started and what time do you end up each day?
Yesterday morning, I started about 6:45 in the morning, and I walked in the house last night at about 9 o'clock. But every day is a little bit different. It depends on where we're taking the grain and how late they stay open. So, but yeah, it just depends. But yesterday was a big day. Oh boy.
How long does it take to go down one row on the field?
It all depends on how big the field is. Like this field's 110 acres, so it's a little bit bigger. So, I mean, if we were on a 40-acre field, you know, that pass would be essentially about half as long. So I think it's taken me about, if we can go without stopping, it'll take about 5 minutes to go from one end to the other. Anybody else have any questions?
Did you grow up on a farm?
I did. I grew up on a farm over by North Springs, and that farm's actually been in our family since I want to say like 1911 maybe. So a Davison has lived on the home farm for over 100 years. And growing up, we had cattle, but we don't anymore.
Do you enjoy farming?
So right now we got the grain cart operator, myself, and 4 truck drivers, and we've got 2 guys doing some tillage, and 3 guys are spreading manure. So we've got quite a bit going on.
How many miles per hour are you driving right now?
Hold on one second, Brenda. Say that again.
How many miles per hour are you driving right now? How fast?
Right now, as we're going through the field, I apologize because it's super loud with all that corn falling. If you look over here, I'm doing about 5.5 miles an hour. So, and this combine will do 24 miles an hour down the road.
How much chicken litter does it take to fertilize an entire field?
So we fertilize based on the acre. So, and it all depends on how much you want to put on. But for me personally, as far as spreading the chicken litter, I'm going to spread it on 321 acres, and I'm going to put on 3 ton per acre. So 6,000 pounds of manure or litter per acre. And an acre is roughly the size of a football field. So imagine taking 6,000 pounds of something and spreading it out on the football field. That's essentially what we're doing. Did you have a question?
Talk to them about tillage and what that means and how hard it's been this year and why.
So when I speak about tillage, we run, I call it a ripper, but it's got discs on the front and it's got shanks in the back, and then discs again on the back. We want to try and bury some of this residue and get it ready for next year's crop. And we do tillage. There's a lot of people that do no-till and cover crops, and everybody's got a different management system. But for us right now, it's tillage. And right now, tillage is not going the best because the ground, we are so dry and the ground is so hard that it's wearing out parts that normally don't wear out, and things are breaking that normally don't break. So it's kind of a catch-22 right now. So we'd like to get some tillage done, but it's also so dry that it's hard to do tillage. So
Have you had any accidents on the farm?
unfortunately, yeah, our grain cart operator was cleaning his windows last week, and he fell off the back tire and he broke 7 ribs. So super unfortunate. He's doing fine now, but as far as equipment wise, no, we haven't had any accidents, but little stuff like cleaning your windows turned into a bad day.
Ever had a fire?
Knock on, we have, knock on wood, we have not this year. So, but they have been pretty prevalent because everything is so dry and it's so warm, and the wind blows 40 miles an hour every day. So, but we try to pay close attention to make sure those things don't happen, but sometimes they happen and you can't do anything about it.
Do you ever get stuck in the field if there's too much water in the soil?
Yes, ma'am. And that's a bad day. So I got my sprayer stuck this summer, and it was an operation. It took all of 2 hours to get it out, but you just roll the dice and hopefully it doesn't happen.
We want to know how you got unstuck when you got stuck in the mud there.
It took a tractor and a really, really long, heavy rope. So, and then we had to drain the sprayer and get all the weight off of it, and then we nicely and gently pulled it out of the mud.
One of our farm girls wants to know how much corn does your chase car hold?
Hold on one second. I'll top you off. So our grain cart, well, it holds right at 1,200 bushel. So a little bit more than a truckload. If any of you guys want to come out after school and scoop the corn off the top of the cab, I'll let you keep the corn and you can sell it. Not gonna lie, that was a little embarrassing. Anybody else have any questions?
How old were you when you first drove a tractor?
I was probably 7, I'm guessing, when I first drove a tractor by myself. When I was 7, tractors were a lot smaller than what they are now. And here's another spot that it was too wet this spring. It's up to you guys. Anybody else have anything? Any questions?
Do you enjoy farming?
I love it. Absolutely love it. I can't imagine doing anything else. But go ahead.
How do you know when the combine is full?
Well, there was a buzzer that went off, and I was talking to you guys, and I didn't necessarily hear the buzzer, or I wasn't paying attention. So that buzzer went off and it tells you it's full, but I kept talking and it got too full real quick. So I might go back and shovel that corn up, or we just might let the deer and the raccoons and the pheasants have at it. Anybody else?
They want to know if you normally have someone in the combine with you and how big the combine is and how long you've had it.
Normally I'm in here by myself. Sometimes, like farm chats, for example, Brenda's come out, and I think this is the 3rd or 4th one that we've done. And then after school, my kids like to come ride, but normally I'm in here by myself. And so this combine, it's an 8250, so it's a class 8 combine. So it's pretty good size. They make a couple sizes bigger, but this one's pretty good sized. And I think it's like 520 horsepower. So And we got this combine. I picked it up like the second week of September. So, it was brand new to us this year. So. Anybody else?
I think you have answered all of our questions, and we really appreciate you taking the time out today to show us this.
No problem. I'm glad I could make a fool of myself in front of a bunch of little people. So I appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much. This has been fun to see.
Thank you.
Say bye.